What's up, guys? So for the last probably 6 months or more, I've been looking for a particular park my wife and I came out to, actually back before we were married, so it's been longer than that, and just could not find it. And finally, on a random Google search, I found it. So we're out here again today. It's just this little duck pond. It's not too big, maybe 1 or 2 acres at most. So what we're doing, small rod, with a little bit of raisins and bread for bait, and I'm gonna try to see if I can't get a bluegill, not just one, probably more than one, out from around the concrete ledge that borders this pond, some of the rock structures and maybe some of the bridge and gazebo area. I don't think there's any monsters in here. I've seen photographs of a few small bass, but our focus today is gonna be on some of the bluegill and panfish that are in here. My wife is trying very hard to stay out of frame. She's running ahead of me. Angle you guys down a little bit. Alright, so we've just got a float, small float. And it's an inline float. It's one of those foam floats where the line just runs straight through the middle. I do not like floats that use the wire crimps on the ends. Those work fine for small fish, but on the off chance that something big were to pick up your bait, you don't want your own tackle to be compromising your chances of success. That kind of defeats the point. So there's a rock right in the middle right there. I'm going to try that. Now, bluegill are one of those fish where if they're in the area, they're going to bite pretty fast if you find the right depth. So if I don't get any hits on the spot pretty quickly, I'll move. Okay, nothing doing. Move spots. There's something, look at that. Somebody left out a hand line. Just 100% would end up around a duck's foot. Get all the extra wire. There's the hook and the shot. Just, how hard was that? How hard was that, really? Alright, so I've got a new friend here. This fearless guy actually jumped up here and started eating my bait. Come on, you did this like 2 seconds ago. Are we not friends anymore?
You gotta hold it.
Like,
he doesn't want to eat it out of your hand.
Look. Right there, buddy. You don't like dried mango anymore? Oh, look, see, now your friend got that one. There you go. Oh, yeah. Try and give him a raisin.
Oh, raisin.
There you go, buddy.
Oh, look at the raisin.
Here you go. I'll come to you. Fine. Be that way. What is that? Oh, it's a catfish. Oh. He's not a bad sized catfish. Oh. There's something. Finally. Can you grab the camera there? So finally, not a bad channel catfish. This one is quite pretty. A lot of purple, and then there's a lot of emerald green kind of on his flanks. Not too bad for the shallows here. I figured this is where the ducks are hanging out. This is where most of the playground is actually situated. So you have people feeding the ducks, And then what the ducks don't eat gets cleaned up by these. Quite a pretty fish. Let's go ahead and put him back. There we go. Quite a lovely animal. He probably does not care for Miley Cyrus music, so we're going to let him go. Which, if you cannot hear, there he goes. Oh, he splashed me for good measure. He's blaring behind us because all the tweens are having a party out here. I didn't think they still listen to Miley Cyrus, but what do I know? I'm an old man now. So, let's see if we can't pick up one more fish. All right, guys. Got another fish on. Yep, another catfish.
Is it the same one?
Same kind. It's hard to tell sometimes. They're so similar. There we go.
He's talking.
Really pays to touch ledger, so put your finger on the line, and the moment you feel that take, set the hook. So you got a fish that's notorious for swallowing hooks, but we lip hooked him just because we were ready for him, which is better for everyone involved. Now, interestingly, I want to show you something. If you look on this other side of the fish here, down by its tail, you can see a couple of very deep puncture wounds, probably from birds. That's generally what that is. So these fish cruising in the shallows get attacked by things like herons, stuff like that, and you end up with these sharp punctures. Not 100% sure that's what that is, but generally it's a good bet for small fish. Again, quite pretty, these guys. Always the most abundant fish in any Texas freshwater is going to be a channel catfish. Let's go ahead and put him back. The camera's off.
Yep.
Okay. There we go. Just let him get set. There he goes. All right. Slimy hands.
Okay. I want to say we went and you were like, this is good.
I do remember saying that. So we're gonna head across the, I don't know, open area here with these pecan trees, namesake of the park, I guess. And last time we were out here, there was a bridge that went across this small stream that caught my eye, and I remember seeing a number of frogs and turtles in it, and there was probably a good number of bluegill and panfish in there as well. So we're gonna head that way, see if we can't find something. So growing up in the South, specifically if you grow up in the country, which I did, you know, as time passes, your memory kind of just blurs, and you get blurs of years or seasons. What is that? A ball. So in the summer, you remember, you know, like water hyacinth plants in the water, and just like all the vines and stuff that would grow over everything. But in the winter, if you live in South Texas, you remember crunching leaves and dead-looking pecan trees, you know, backlit against these gray skies. So this is, you kind of remember those two extremes, because South Texas only has those two extremes. There's nothing in between. It's either incredibly hot jungle or slightly cold, maybe rainy, gray pecan trees like this out here. There's the bridge up ahead. That's where we're going, right there. Or under it, rather. Okay, we're getting there. There just seemed to be some water. More like pockets of water. But that's fine, because as fish move through a moving water feature, you know, they're going to find areas of that water that they prefer. They're going to hang out there and possibly get stuck there as the water goes down. There we go. So even water like this, it can be easy to dismiss it off the bat. You shouldn't do that. So what we're gonna do, show you guys, hold the camera with my other hand. We're gonna head down here. You see where this concrete runs across both sides and then makes kind of a drop off? We're gonna fish some bread at the bottom here, next to this area. All right, that's what we're using right there. A little pink jig with a very small, I want to say 1/16 ounce jig head on top of it. Kind of push that hook down back into place. All three of those fish came up and attacked that little piece of bread as I was pulling it back in. So I'm just gonna gently and slowly kind of retrieve this. See if we can't get a strike. Nothing that time. I know you're down there. I saw 3 of you. You gave yourselves away. There we go. Yep, there's a fish. Got him. There he is. I knew it. I knew I saw at least one. Yes, on the pink jig. Ow, got me. All right, here we go. Get you guys as level as possible. Small bass on a pink and white jig in this little tiny pocket of water down here behind me. Look at that. Tiny little guy, but just a perfect catch for this evening. So happy with that. Thought I was gonna go home with just the catfish. Got a small bass out of it. Toss him back. He's small enough so that the impact on the way down isn't gonna hurt him too much. If he was a larger fish, I would have walked down there. All right, that's a good fish. It's a good fish. Let's see if we can get another one. I know there's at least 2 more fish down there. Saw 3 at the same time. All right, here it is again. A little pink jig, a little chartreuse jig head. Tangled, and I dropped the lure. We're in no hurry. The fish here aren't going anywhere. Toss that in right there. Slow retrieve it back. Nothing on that one. Let's try. Oh, the wind's picking up right as I'm going to cast out. Ah. All right. This one's going to end up going back to the same area. That's never a... Oh, that was a bite. That's never a bad thing to cast to the same area more than once. You know, change your retrieves, change your depth. A fish is looking at my lure. Got him. Oh, and I lost him. Tiny little bass. I mean, like, barely bigger than the lure. I thought he was going to be a small sunfish. But anyway, you know, you cast to the same area more than once. You change a few things up. You might get fish that weren't interested the first time your bait was presented. Also, fish move. You know, just because you didn't get a fish the first time you pass through an area doesn't mean there's not going to be one the second time. But I've got a much better access point to cast out here. Oh, right away. So with predators, like bass, typically if you get a bite and you lose it, drop the bait, let it sit for a second, they'll watch it, and a lot of times they're just waiting for it to move again before they strike. Finally, there he is, that little guy. Like I said, barely longer than the lure that he took. Just shows what predators these guys are, how aggressive they are. There we go.
You'll have to come with me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look how tiny.
It's a very small bass.
Hi. Oh my goodness.
Tiny little guy.
Oh,
But
I want to take him home. He's so cute.
He's very cute to us. To a little fish, this is a little tiny minnow's worst nightmare. This is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. But quite pleased to have this.
Beautiful.
You know, out of a small pocket of water like this is an acceptable catch. So I'm going to go ahead and put this guy back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that just about does it. 2 catfish, 2 bass. Probably the best we're going to manage today. It's getting a little bit cold outside, and now my sleeves are wet from releasing that fish with the camera under the water. So we are going to head out and get something to eat. Nice little park. It took me forever to find this park. What's it called again?
Pecan Park.
Pecan Park. Over in the Richmond area. Quite nice. I really do think there's got to be some good-sized bluegill hanging out in that pond. I've seen a lot of videos in this general area of Texas, people catching massive bluegill, you know, pushing 9 inches, 10 inches in length, just the width of your hand. And I've been on the hunt for them. I'm going to find them. But today I'm satisfied with the fish that we got. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. More coming. And until it's here, stay tuned. And until then, I'll see you guys later.